Big game on Monday against Linfield. The league has changed what feels like for the millionth time again on Boxing Day with regards to the teams that are sort of on good runs of form in the minute. But Linfield are definitely there after a difficult start to the season. We always go there expecting a tough game. But what do you expect out of Monday?
Yeah, we always do expect a tough game, but I think it'll be magnified on Monday with the fact that I think with their start to the season, and then I think there's something like 10 unbeaten, 7 clean sheets in that, and they really are the form team in the league at this point in time. So to get something up there at any stage is really tough. But for us, we're going to have to be absolutely on it on Monday, every man to the pump if we're going to get a result.
We talked at the start of the season when you were giving the players their pre-season training about your expectation out of how your training was going to work to try and combat teams that are able to train full time. And after a couple of blips at the start of the season that you nearly expected because of how you were training people, it nearly feels like you're starting to see the fruits of the labour out of what feel like very sensible decisions in pre-season.
Yeah, and I think you always have to trust the process, and that's the key thing. And I think with a bit of experience that helps as well. Where possibly from outside the change room there were a few alarm bells and everything else, but from inside it, to be fair, it's been pretty consistent. And I think, for us, it's always been a couple of players in, a couple of players out. This summer was something like 12 out and 10 in. And I think it's common sense will tell you that there's going to be a period of unknown as everything forms and storms and people get used to the roles and responsibilities. And for us, I think we've gone through that process now, and hopefully that's us coming out the other end of it, because the last 6-8 weeks has been I think the way that we all want Coleraine to be and at the level that we all want it to be at.
And finally, fans will be interested at the start of the transfer window what your thoughts are with regards to business that could potentially be done in and out. Where are we at with regards to thoughts and decisions being made on that?
The thoughts are it's a never-ending process, and again it gets magnified around the end of December, start of January, because for everybody else it's like, oh, the window's coming, but for us, at times we're 6 months, 12 months ahead of ourselves in relation to targets that we're trying to line up and business that we're trying to do. Sometimes that comes to fruition in January, sometimes it doesn't. So for us, it's about trying to keep our finger on the pulse, trying to make sure that we're not just looking at this window, but there's also thoughts on the summer window and even as far as next Christmas in relation to the type of planning that you need to be doing. So yeah, we'll want to strengthen. I think we'll be back to 1 or 2 in and 1 and 2 out sort of a thing, and hopefully that's the way it'll stay for the next few years as well. We don't want to be in that mode of 10 and 12 every summer, because I don't think that bodes well in relation to the continuity of what we're looking for. So yeah, we're always looking for those diamonds, and fingers crossed there'll be a few appear.
Last, just quickly, I know you've spoken about it already, but we recently saw Paul depart to go and manage Linfield, and we know that you've thoughts on his replacement or whatever. How important was Paul to you as a right hand man, and how important will it be to try and find someone that will fill the role that he provided for us?
Very much so, and I think we talk as much now as we did when Paul was employed here. Even more probably. We're constantly in dialogue, and about he's got issues in relation to things he's throwing off me in relation to Linfield and vice versa. So I think there'll always be that friendship, both professionally and just as good buddies as well. And I think the job that Paul had grown into and the job that he was doing towards the end here was fantastic. His levels that he had reached as a coach in relation to how much of the session he could take, and the trust that we had in him to do that was fantastic. And yes, he'll be sorely missed. There's no doubt about it that we got to a point where things were really flowing and training in that way, and with that now there's an adjustment again. So again, like playing staff, coaching staff is exactly the same. So my mind has been on that as well, and as I say at the minute, I'm not quite sure what direction we'll go from that point of view, but I would like to be replacing in some shape or form.
Good man. Thanks, Oran.
Cheers.